Hello and welcome back for another awesome episode of the Fit 40 podcast. Today we got three topics on deck. Number one is a really cool client win that one of my longtime clients, Kathy, had this past week that I wanted to highlight. That is a huge thing that not a lot of people pay enough attention to or give enough credit to. So we'll be talking about that in detail. Number two is building a fitness schedule. Talking about exactly what your weekly schedule should look like, what your monthly should look like, and talking about what those workouts should feel like and what they should actually achieve if done correctly. And then last but not least is the best type of detox to kick off 2025. So let's start off with that client win. First, Kathy, my longtime client, she's been with me for over 2 years, maybe 3. I'm not 100% sure. I should have checked the metrics before hopping on. But anyway, she's been with me for a while. She kicks ass, takes names every single week, one of the most consistent clients in the group. And she had a non-scale victory this past week. And non-scale victories are something we do every single week in the one-on-one check-ins where we talk about a win that was had that week that does not involve the scale in any way, shape, or form. Hers this week was she was able to, at a Christmas party, I believe it was, have one cookie and be totally fine not having another, even with her friends and family or coworkers at that time egging her on to eat more. And she stuck to her guns and said, no, I'm having one. I'm going to enjoy it. This lines up with my plan. This is how I like to live my life. And one is good enough for me. Now, the reason she was able to do that is because throughout our time together, she has built and solidified this FitYou personality, this FitYou image of herself, where it's like this is her new identity. And when she operates from that scope of this is me, this is how I do things, then she's able to make these decisions and stick to them. And over time, when you're able to do that, you become the person that sticks to the plan. You are the person that exercises, that eats well, and that's their norm. But the reason that she's able to do this too is because she keeps casting votes into the box saying, this is who I am, this is who I am. And then by doing that, eventually those people that are egging her on saying, eat it, eat it, eat it, are eventually going to most likely just accept the fact that, hey, this is Kathy, this is who she is. And why even bother at this point? Because she doesn't give in. So that's that. And that can be used when it comes to sweets, when it comes to indulging in other ways like booze. Like you have those people in your life that are always encouraging you, saying, come on, come on. Yep. When you're able to cast those votes over and over and over again, saying, this is me, this is the new version of me, this is who I am, then people fall in line. They understand. And if they don't, then it's like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, this is me. Why do you keep pushing this? It's like, it's stupid. And then it's a case of maybe time to create some boundaries with that friend. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'd rather come back to the FitYou, which is like, how do you even solidify that so that you are in a position where you're able to make these decisions and stick to your guns? Okay. The big concept when it comes to establishing a FitYou is chasing the good stuff, because a lot of people at this time of the year, 2025 is kicking off. They're like, all right, I'm going to hop on a diet. I'm going to cut out all the sugar, all the dairy. I'm going to go on this detox. I'm going to do all this. And it becomes all the, I'm not going to do this, not going to do that, not going to do that. And that's what we call a restrictive diet. Basically just focusing on the things that you can no longer have. And it's usually the stuff that you absolutely love. So not only are you doing things that are not enjoyable, you're also doing things that go against what you actually want. So that's the big thing, is let's not do that. Instead, let's chase the good stuff, because you're more likely to stay consistent and keep showing up for stuff that is good, that is enjoyable, that you actually want to do. So what are some of those things? Number one is we eat more nutritious food because it feels good to feel good. Okay, when you eat things that are high in protein, you feel more satiated throughout the day and you feel like you have more level energy instead of all these spikes and drops. You feel good the pretty much the entire day, assuming that you have a nice steady flow of meals and calories and you're not just like starving yourself to start the day and then binging all night. Okay, when you have a solid breakfast, lunch, and dinner with lean protein, with some veggies, with some fruit, with fiber, that stuff makes you feel like $1,000,000. And you're like, oh my God, I want to live this way all the time. I love feeling this way. And then when it comes to the exercise portion, you don't you're not this person that's like, oh, I just don't have the time, or oh, I have no energy to work out. Oh, I don't want to work out. It's just I always struggle to do that. Instead, you're the person who says, hey, I need to work out because I want to feel energized. I want to feel less stressed. I want my mind to be clear, and I want to have that like 20 minutes or 30 minutes just to have me time, because there's so much going on with the kids, with work. Like, the workout is my sanctuary. It's that one place where it's like I'm in total control and I have this time for just me. And when you have those things that you look forward to, it becomes so much easier to stay on the plan. It becomes so much easier to get back on the wagon, because instead of saying, ugh, I need to do this, I gotta make myself do this, I just gotta get the willpower, okay? All that bullshit goes to the side, and instead you're like, man, I wanna get back to feeling good. I wanna feel that awesome feeling, because when you do that, you're going to get back at it so much faster than trying to force yourself to do things that you don't actually want to do. All right, so let that be your guide going into 2025. Establish that FitYou and really try and get that going. Now, when it comes to the workout side of things, that's usually one of the best places to start when it comes to, like, if you had to pick nutrition or exercise. I would usually say exercise first, because it's something you could do daily or every other day, or like semi regularly, and you get these quick hits of success where it's like, oh, I can lift more weight, oh, I feel really good immediately after, and you get that like established like over and over and over again of like, okay, I did something awesome. So let's build a fitness schedule. Let's talk about what exactly would be a good schedule for fitness for you on a weekly basis. Now, before I get into the breakdown of your week, first off, the big frame that we want to take with these workouts is you want to be feeling better when you leave than when you come in. It's not, oh, I want to beat myself up for 30 to 60 minutes to the point where I have no more energy throughout the day, and I feel like I'm debilitated to the point where I can't go down to go to the bathroom. Okay, no, those workouts are a thing of the past. If you're a teenager or in your 20s, then sure, have at it. You're going to recover so fast that you can pull that stuff off and deal with the feeling like absolute crap for however long. But when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, recovery becomes primary focus. So it's not about how much work you can do, it's how much work you can do and recover from. So if you sleep really well, if you eat really well, if you manage your stress really well, then you can do more work than somebody who doesn't do that. But if you are stressed beyond belief, if you consume alcohol pretty regularly, if you eat like crap, like, you cannot handle, your body cannot recover from those types of workouts. So you need to get to a point where you can handle more if you want to do more. Now, for most people, for the average person on a weekly basis, 2 to 4 times a week of strength training would be ideal. Okay. 5, 6, 7 times, not ideal, especially like group, like a lot of people find this problem in a group setting when it comes to like group classes. They'll go 5, 6, 7 times a week and just hit a flat plateau and be like, what the frick? Like, what gives? I'm showing up all the time and I'm not seeing any difference. It's because you're not really recovering. You're just kind of surviving through that. You need to give yourself a break, and you need to be able to adapt. So that way, when you come back, you can use heavier weights, you can do more repetitions, and you can feel better at the end. So when it comes to the strength training component, like lifting weights and stuff, 2 to 4 times a week is solid. And let me tell you, if you're like 2 times a week, really, I'm telling you, I have seen absurd transformations when it comes to people doing 2 times a week. Because if you're going from nothing to 2 times a week, that is a lot more demand on your body, and it will adapt accordingly, and it will respond pretty well compared to doing absolutely nothing. So I would say if you're doing nothing right now, start with 2 and just see how that feels. Along with that, we want to have a step goal or have some sort of walking routine. Now, the easiest way to hit a step goal is to have like a daily walk. So if you could do 10, 20, 30, 60 minutes walk every single day, awesome. But when it comes to people that are super busy, step goals are usually better, because if you can't really block out that time, then just say, okay, I'm going to hit this many steps throughout the day. So how many steps do you need? Everybody's heard 10K a day. And just so you know, that was a marketing term to get people to buy pedometers, I think out in Japan. And there's no real science that says 10K is the absolute best. Now, you can see, like, they've actually studied people to see the effects of step count and how it impacts their health. And when you go from totally sedentary to 2K, like only 2,000 steps a day, their health markers improved drastically. It really makes a difference going from nothing to something. Now, most people are getting 2K a day. Anybody who works a normal job is probably getting 2, 3, 4K. And honestly, when I look at the Fit 40 clients, my bare minimum is 5K a day. So for the most busy person in the world, somebody who's locked into their chair all hours of the day, if you got a walking treadmill or something, you could crank that up like crazy. Or let's say you can't do the walking treadmill, even if you're able to take the stairs when you're at work, or park a little bit further away at the grocery store, or do something that makes life a little less convenient, like increasing your steps at Target or at the grocery store, intentionally going from one end of the store to the other, that stuff will add up and that'll easily get you over 5K. Because the way that the benefits go when it comes to steps is like there's a significant increase all the way up to like 7, 8, 9, 10K as far as like health benefits. And then it starts to level out. Like there's still benefits and it as you keep going up, but the drasticness of the peak isn't as crazy. Like from 0 to 5K, huge. From 5K to 10K, really big. And then 10K plus, it's like, okay, we're making a little bit of progress and keep going. So if you want to drive your step count through the roof and go for 12, 15, 20K, have at it. But just know the returns do diminish to a certain point. And especially if you're at the point where you're stressing your body too much, because exercise, even though it's a good stressor, it's still a stressor. And if you overdo the stress bucket, then that's going to work against you. And hormonally, you're going to be in a worse spot. Energy-wise, you're going to be in a worse spot. You're going to burn less calories. So you don't want to go overboard on that front either. And then when it comes to cardio, because I know people love their cardio, the best type when it comes to trying to improve your body composition is zone 2, because when you do HIIT and intervals, those really high intensity ones, they drive a lot of fatigue. And for a lot of people, it makes them very, very hungry. So these two things can work against you when the goal is fat loss, when the goal is to improve body composition. So zone 2 is usually the best one. And zone 2 has a ton of benefits. If you've ever read Peter Attia's book, Outlive, or seen any of the longevity stuff, zone 2 is the new black. All right. It is the new thing that everybody's hyped on, and for good reason. It's very good for your heart health. It's very good for your overall conditioning, for longevity, so many good things. So when it comes to zone 2, what is that? Basically, when you break out your heart rate zones, like your max heart rate, there's 5 distinct zones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zone 1 is like me right now just talking, or you listening in the car, like basically our average without putting any exertion. Zone 2 is that next level where we're working hard, but we don't have to necessarily take a break and like do a breath between talking. We could still hold a conversation, but we're more active than just sitting. And that's roughly 55 to 65% of your max heart rate. Or a really simple way to know is, again, that breath, like the talk test. Can you hold a conversation without having to stop to take a breath? Or my personal favorite is nose only. So if you don't have crazy allergies or a deviated septum, something that's blocking your nasal passage, then shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Anybody who knows that reference, I love you. But you shut your mouth and you just breathe through your nose when you're doing the cardio. And that's a really good way to allow your body to just not have to think about it so much, and you just kind of get in the rhythm. And along with that, the nasal only breathing, this is strictly anecdotal, but I have heard presenters talk about this, and I've seen the benefits of this, witnessed them myself. I highly recommend you try it too. The nose only works really well for stress relief, and just like in general, having that Zen type of cardio, nose only. And on top of that, Brian McKenzie, one of the big names in endurance running, he also, I think he either published a study or he quoted a study a while back talking about how when people did nose only breathing, it actually improved their running times because their body became more efficient and in the running pattern. So if you are a runner, it could be worth exploring, seeing if that works for you and if it does improve your times. So that can help too. And so zone 2, we want to ideally get like the guideline for cardio in general is 150 minutes per week. So like 5 days a week, 30 minutes if you can, or like 2 days of like an hour long walk would probably get you close enough. But at the end of the day, zone 2, as much as you can handle is totally fine. And then last but not least, the HIIT and intervals. You can do them, but I would say attach them to the end of your strength workout. That's the way I do it for the Fit 40 programs, because HIIT in itself should only be 5 to 10 minutes. These HIIT classes are not HIIT. Okay, true HIIT is gun it, pedal to the metal as hard as you possibly can for like 10 to 30 seconds, and then you rest a very long time, either just as much as you did, so like a 1-to-1 ratio, like 30-30, or minute on, minute off, something like that, or even longer. Like if you're doing, say, true like Tabata, like that, or Tabata would be shorter rest periods, but like say you're doing like hardcore HIIT and you're like, I'm going to do 10 seconds gunning it as hard as I possibly can, it's probably in your best interest to have at least 50 minutes or like 30 to 50 seconds of rest time. So if you're doing 10 seconds on, do 50 seconds off. So it's like 10 seconds on the minute is one of my favorite ways to do it, because if you're doing that, the goal is to improve your explosiveness, to improve your ability to exert force as hard as you can continuously. So if you're continuously getting slower and less powerful, you're defeating the purpose. And that's what a lot of people do when they do HIIT. They're just going through the motions and trying to make themselves tired for no real benefit. And same with the intervals. So make sure that you do it smart, and make sure that it's for a condensed amount of time, not just some long class where you feel like you're just dying the entire time. Okay, so if all is done correctly, when it comes to your fitness schedule, 2 to 4 times a week, having a step goal of above 5K, we'll say 5 to 10, zone 2 cardio whenever you can, and if you want to do high intensity intervals or intervals of any kind, do them after your strength training and you'll get the most bang for your buck. You'll feel the best. And if done correctly, you will build a lot of muscle. You'll be able to burn body fat if you're in a calorie deficit. And again, you're just going to feel amazing. So lean into the stuff that leaves you feeling amazing and getting the results you want. Now, last but not least, I know Detox gets a lot of people to click on the episode when I put Detox in the title. So we're going to talk about it. What is the best detox? So before I dive into what's the best, I'm going to tell you what not to do. Don't do anything that's actually labeled detox or a cleanse or anything to kickstart your fat loss, because it doesn't kickstart shit except a horrible relationship with dieting, with supplementation, and with weight loss as a whole. You do not need to do extreme restriction. You do not need to do only juice. You do not need to do these things that send you to the bathroom so many times just for the sake of losing weight or feeling good in the moment, because that is disordered at the end of the day. That is very, very disordered. And the people that are convincing you to do this stuff are always selling the product. It's not anybody who's just an expert in the field saying, yeah, you should do a detox. I don't sell it, but you should just do a detox or a cleanse. Nobody actually says that. It's always the people that are pushing this stuff that are marketing it. So you're not exactly getting an honest interpretation of what you should be doing. Now, when it comes to detoxing, luckily, our bodies are detox machines. This is why when you have these things that you see on Instagram or social media that everybody's all so worried about, like the artificial sweeteners, these certain ingredients, saying things are toxic, they're at such low levels that our bodies can process them and push them out with little to no negative side effects. And that's because we have skin, liver, kidneys, and our lungs that is literally their job. One of many, but is their job to detoxify our bodies. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to walk outside with half the shit that's in the air and be able to function without dying. Okay, how the heck can we do that? Like, you wouldn't be able to fill up your gas with all that exhaust pushing in your face from your car if you didn't have some sort of detoxification process in your body. So rely on your skin, your liver, your kidneys, and your lungs, and optimize the way that your body can perform at its best. So how do we do that? That's the real thing that we want to focus on when it comes to detoxing, is how do we allow our bodies to do what it needs to do to the best of its ability? Number one, where I think a lot of people could start off, is increasing their water intake and reducing their booze intake. Because make no mistake, if you're doing cleanses and detoxes and you eat like shit and drink like crazy, you're defeating the entire purpose, and you're just spending a lot of money to feel like shit and create a disordered pattern with everything that I just mentioned. Now, if you increase your water intake, you are going to allow your body to hydrate its cells. And when your cells are hydrated, they operate better. Okay. You're also going to be able to push things through a little bit easier. So if you're constipated or you just like are really slow as far as food is concerned with digestion, okay, water helps that a ton, and fiber also helps that a ton, but I'll get into that in a sec. And then when it comes to booze, getting rid of that, like booze is a literal toxin. That's another thing. If you've ever drank alcohol and you're convinced that you need a detox because your body can't, if you could not detox that alcohol naturally, you'd be dead. You would be straight up dead. So just know, if you've ever drank a drink in your life, your body is capable of doing this stuff. Okay. So try and cut out booze for a number of different reasons. Big one being sleep. It messes up your sleep. Number two, it's horrible when your sleep is affected because it messes up your hormones. And on top of that, it usually results in poor food decisions. So now you're setting your body up, the environment, to pack on fat where you don't want it. And you're fueling that environment with all these extra calories that are going to result in body fat being stored. So get rid of the booze entirely if possible, or just limit it to the best of your ability. And then next is nutrition. Eating whole foods or minimally processed foods, the things that are nutrient dense, the lean proteins, the veggies, the fruit, the fibrous sources, that stuff will have your body feeling amazing, feeling its best, pushing everything through. And this is going to allow your body to digest and not hold on to a lot of bloat and feel really good. So now you're getting that detox effect of the water and the nutrition, pushing everything through, not holding on to a lot in your belly, and you're not holding on to as much water weight, because when you consume more water, your body holds on to less water because it knows more is coming in. So when you're dehydrated, it holds on like crazy, but when you're well hydrated, you have this steady flow of coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. So there's no need to retain as much water. So those are the big ones as far as nutrition is concerned. Then we have exercise. When you're exercising, again, your body just feels better. Your body operates better. You're able to sweat a little bit and get all that out. You're able to use the carbohydrates that you're consuming by using your muscles. And you're also utilizing fat stores, which are also going to be used during exercise. You're getting your body in the rhythm of, okay, we're using this fuel. It's not just storing. So there's this nice cycle going on. And then when you do all of this, usually your sleep improves. And when your sleep improves, your hormonal health gets better. Your stress management gets better. Your decision making gets better. And you actually use more energy throughout the day. So you end up burning more calories when you're better rested compared to when you're not rested. And then, like I just said, stress. If you can manage your stress really, really well, that is going to put your body, in conjunction with all the other stuff, that is going to put your body in the best possible situation to do what it needs to do to have you feeling your absolute best and to get you going in the right direction. So screw the detoxes, screw the cleanses. Let's focus on the shit that actually works, the stuff that doesn't cost you any extra money, the stuff that will have the better effect, that will get you more results than any cleanse or detox will ever. All right. So let's think about that. Now, if you need some stuff to help you out, you're in luck, because number one, I have high protein recipes down below. So if you want to click on that, get those recipes, it's over 50 high protein recipes. So if you want to get that nutrition aspect down and eat things that are lean protein, vegetables, fiber, all that good stuff that I just mentioned, that's in there. And that also comes with like a sample meal plan, grocery list, and it can be scanned by MyFitnessPal. So all you have to do is literally just scan it and all the macros pop up for you. It's pretty cool. And then also I would get in the Facebook group, because everything that I just talked about, we're going to be covering in the Fit40 Toning Boot Camp starting January 13th. That's a week from Monday. Or I'm filming this, or this is coming out on Friday, the 3rd. So if you're listening today, it's a week from next Monday, the 6th, because we're starting on January 13th. Yes. So if you're catching this too late, still get your butt in the Fit40 family, because we're always running monthly challenges, but the boot camp's going to be the big one. Going to be giving away a lot of or giving away a big cash prize along with a bunch of other prizes. And we're going to be talking about getting your calories right, improving your nutrition, staying active with your workouts, and sticking to that fitness schedule that we just talked about. So if you want everything collectively, plus the community support to put you in a position to get the best results possible, definitely get your butt in the Fit 40 family and go ahead and get those recipes too, so you're on the email list, and you'll be in a pretty good spot. Not just after the boot camp, but this time next year as well. If you really take everything into account and put the work in and create that FitYou that we talked about with Kathy, you will be a totally different person this time, 2026. Okay, so thank you for listening. Until next time, kick some ass, and I'll see you later.